I was honing in on the passage here in which Bo says that he wanted to make sure it doesn't turn into a glitter bomb for all of the recipients. And I just imagined just around the corner of one of the rooms in his home, a self-satisfied genie sort of grinning and nodding and saying, ah, yes, indeed.
None of your recipients will receive a glitter bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
Wish granted.
Wish granted. Yeah, you were focused. You know what happens when you focus too much on the secondary.
Well, if you're worried about the minute specifics of an outcome,
yes.
They will be met precisely.
Yeah, you missed the glitter forest for the trees here in the home zone. I totally relate. I mean, just on a minor level, I totally relate to this because even the seemingly tiniest amount of glitter is essentially infinite. My wife bought me a very nice anniversary card a month ago. I remember noticing days earlier that there were just like some little bits of glitter on my nightstand, and I kept noticing it. I didn't say anything, I didn't like, make anything of it.
But your eyes kept looking at it.
I would clean them up, and then the next night I would just notice just more specks of stuff on my fingers or the area or whatever. And then eventually I received the card, and I was like, oh, that's what this is. And that was just a single lightly dusted greeting card's worth of this substance. I can't even begin to imagine an entire gold bag of glitter exploding into our apartment. That is essentially a pocket universe. You know when people say things like oh, the number of grains of I don't know what the hell people say about anything about atoms or the universe. But when people say things about like, oh, when the guy has the chessboard and he tricks the king into giving him 1 grain of rice, he's like, okay, king, pay me this paltry sum of a grain. Okay, fuck. There's a parable.
This relates to an email that we're gonna read later, actually. Maybe that's a good segue.
What I'm saying is, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? He's like, I solved this problem for you. And all you have to do is take a chessboard and put 1 grain of rice on the first square, and then on the next square, double the grains of rice, and then on the third square, double that many grains of rice, and then that is my payment. Is this grains of rice? And then if you do it, it's like more than.
And then the king is like, fuck, there's glitter everywhere now. How did you do that? And then he flourishes his cape and disappears like a shitload of rice.
Yeah, puff of glitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always people often use that kind of geometric or exponential increase to sort of just show the power of compounding or whatever. And then often it comes with some kind of sort of amazing fact that seems impossible to believe, like this is more than all the grains of sand on the planet or like atoms in the universe, some fucking crazy shit like that. I don't know. It's probably not the latter one that seems impossible, but maybe not. I've definitely seen. I should have looked this up. I've definitely seen people claim that some seemingly mundane thing, when multiplied enough, eventually.
Like the quality of wine, for instance.
Right, like the quality of wine.
You need there's just cameras filming Bo's apartment in slow motion as the glitter bomb explodes, and then David Attenborough shows up and says, "You will die alone." First he delivers some. Sorry, I jumped on that. First he says, "There's more glitter in this apartment than there are some atoms in the universe," and then he says, "Yeah, unable to find a mate, Bo. Bo will die alone."
That's not helping him at all, really.
No, the real
fiance is now going to leave him because of this mess he's made.
No, also, way to fix this. Oh, Nick, go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, his fiance is also going to assume for the rest of her life that she's about to get like a card or a present or something from him.
There's going to be glitter in that apartment forever.
Did Bo get
something special must be coming.
Oh, no, he was just left out. I mean, that doesn't speak very highly of her. Maybe she needs to hone her deductive reasoning skills.
Well, maybe she's preoccupied by homing in on where this gift is hidden in the house.
Maybe Bo's tones are so dulcet that she's always expecting something kind to occur.
Bo is honing his tones?
Bo's home tones here in the home zone.
My actual solution, Bo, for how to clean this glitter.
By the way, I should be clear, this is all happening in Bo's home. Anyway, what is your actual solution?
Leave this apartment. Get a new apartment. Burn it. Take all of your furniture outside and like rent an industrial grade leaf blower and get all the fucking glitter off of it as much as you can. Figure out a way to hide the glitter that's in your apartment for the inspection, or just kiss that deposit goodbye and get out while you can.
Then start maintaining a long distance postcard-based insidious campaign at the new tenants of your current apartment, where you imply that maybe there's sort of glitter that they might notice out of the corner of their eye. And who knows what that glitter could be?
Oh, right.
Could portend.
Send them some cards that you put a little dust a little gold glitter, so when they move into the apartment, like that's where it is. But assemble those cards in your current apartment before moving, because I know, Bo, from the only point of data I have about you, that if you try to put glitter on a card, you're gonna mess up your apartment. So do that before you move.
That's true. Yeah, use this already ruined apartment as your staging ground.
Yeah. Actually, alternate plan: buy some spray adhesive and just gold glitter the shit out of every surface in your apartment. Just go nuts. So get that leaf blower that I was talking about, but fill it full of gold glitter, and then first spray adhesive every wall, and then just gun blast.
And then just do it. Just use your skills.
Yeah, you're good at one thing.
You know what to do. I mean, that's a good one. That's a like lemons into lemonade situation.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah. So you live in that, or are you suggesting that's his final act before?
I'm suggesting. Well, it depends on what you think of the outcome.
What do you think the fucking landlord walkthrough of that's gonna be like?
Yeah, the previous tenant left it like this.
I don't think we're gonna give your security deposits coming back.
I don't know, Chris.
To be seen,
I think the curve. I think that. I don't know what the other end of the curve is. It might just be an arc. There's a really, it's a really steep curve, but up towards the top is the landlord or property manager coming in and just going, oh my god. Actually, it's the arc of them saying, oh my god, right?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Or just, oh my god.
And that's where you're like, you're paying me to take this apartment back. That's when you get married in that apartment, and then you turn it into a successful little chapel. Yeah. But yeah, you're either selling it back to them for an amazing gain, even though you previously were renting it, or you're forced legally to buy the unit off of them because it's unrentable.
Hopefully, in the call that you have to schedule to walk out and to put in your notice to move out of the apartment, your landlord is like, oh, so don't forget, make sure to clean up the apartment and sort of get it back in working order, set it all up. You're like, oh, don't worry, I've gone over every inch of the apartment. And say it really suggestively, and they're like, oh, okay, good, glad to hear that. Yes, you'll find this apartment will be sparkling when you arrive. I would consider it to be in golden condition.
And they're like, yeah, did you put glitter everywhere? Because the notice that you sent saying you're moving out, like it had a bunch of glitter on it, and it really fucked up my desk. Like it's everywhere.
I know exactly what happened.
Bo, I listened to Important Through. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and just move out though.
I think you pretty much have to move out. I genuinely, like, given my experience with glitter, I'm pretty sure
you're gonna move out, and your new apartment is still gonna have like 70 pieces of glitter in it.
It absolutely will. Yes, it will be
move like 3 times over the next 2 years, and you might get rid of like 90%.
Yeah, this is the opposite though from the kind of think about this so often. This is the opposite of the sort of atoms in the universe thing. It's the other one of like you can never get rid of stuff because there's always going to be at least one particle. Of
right, where you got rid of 50% of the glitter, 50% of the glitter, 50% of the glitter. Eventually that averages down. There's at least one stupid gold fleck that follows you until you die.
Yep. You're never getting rid of it though. This mistake will haunt you until the end of your days. I'm sorry. Good luck though. All right, we have an email that came in from Ollie. I don't remember if this might have been a tweet from Ollie. Or something. Oh, this is just our friend Ollie.
Yeah, you can just say
Ollie.
Ollie.
It just says Ollie writes, and I assumed it was a reader, but this is our friend Ollie who I guess is a reader. Anyway, I don't know. Leave me alone. my dulcet tones are failing me. This was an article about a crayfish species. I couldn't believe it. This is amazing.
This is actually important if true in the most classic
This is
means.
absolutely important if true.
Yeah.
And it seems to be true, which is inconceivable to me.
This
So,
might actually be how we die. Twist ending against all odds.
yeah, so this is an article from the New York Times entitled "This Mutant Crayfish Clones Itself and It's Taking Over Europe." This is a species called the marble crayfish. Before about 25 years ago, the species simply did not exist. A single drastic mutation in a single crayfish produced the marble crayfish in an instant. The mutation made it possible for the creature to clone itself, and now it is spread across much of Europe and gained a toehold on other continents. In Madagascar, where it arrived around 2007, it numbers in the millions and threatens native crayfish. The crayfish lay eggs without mating. The progeny were all female, and each one grew up ready to reproduce. In 2003, scientists confirmed the marble crayfish were indeed making clones of themselves. For nearly 2 decades, marble crayfish have been multiplying like tribbles on a legendary Star Trek episode. So this is a crayfish that every single instance of this crayfish species is a clone of the same female
Yeah, it
marble
can
crayfish.
just dump hundreds of already fertilized eggs that turn into
Yeah.
additional crayfish.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's like close enough to the crayfish that it came from that male crayfish can try and mate with it, but it does nothing because
Yeah.
they're actually sexually incompatible.
Right,
This is,
they can,
this is an
like,
asexual only crayfish that mutated just enough off of another
Mhm.
existing normal species.
Yep.
That it can just go nuts.
Yep. Yeah, they can hone their bone skills in the bone zone as much
Oh.
as they like.
Say
Didn't
scientists.
look-
But it makes no difference. The act.
The article postulates that the mutation might have happened in an aquarium or like in a zoo.
Yeah, it possibly happened in a German aquarium. We're
Where
not
just like
exactly
crayfish
sure.
started going crazy,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh, these crayfish aren't having sex. This is just the same crayfish multiplying a billion
Yeah.
times.
Yep.
And then they started making their way into pet stores. People started buying them, put them in a tank, and then like, I have like a dozen crayfish now. Then people just dump
They
them in
would
a lake.
dump them in a lake, and then they would further multiply.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. It's like what if the ant population gets replaced with crayfish? That's like this freaks me out.
I agree. I was reading this article, and
Because they're huge. They're not small creatures.
Yeah,
they're,
no.
like, they're real.
Reading this article
We can eat them.
genuinely scared me. That's true. We can't eat them, but not fast enough. That's for sure. I mean, these things. You read this, right, Nick? I mean,
Yeah.
they lay hundreds of eggs at a time.
Well, what I'm trying to figure out is could we somehow genetically modify the species such that it eats glitter, and then introduce it into Bo's
It's a
ecosystem?
Bose apartment.
That's it.
Classic Attenborough disaster. Like scientists have introduced the species into the ecosystem, trying to get rid of this horrible thing
Yeah.
that we caused, thereby
That's
causing another
basically-
horrible thing and
You are
destroying
essentially
Earth.
describing Australia.
Yeah, right.
That is how the continent and country of Australia works, and that is why Australia is now, I think, super hyper protectionist in terms of animal
We have to preserve this monstrosity.
Well,
that
just
we
like, fuck, do not let it get any more fucked up and weird than it currently is. I believe that's what
There's
happened.
no way that crayfish is going to not show up in Australia, if only because it creates a land bridge out of dead crayfish that it can just walk.
They must. My sisters will make it to the promised land.
The article describes them as surprisingly resilient as well, where it's like any water source they're dumped into, they just
Yeah.
keep barfing out eggs.
Yep. So this article was genuinely terrifying to me for all the reasons that are pretty obvious, and Jake, that you stated, which is that.
And Nick,
oh,
where they create land bridges of themselves to find and devour all glitter in the world.
that's true. That part's okay.
And they're like, oh, I'm covered in glitter now.
yeah. I mean, oh god damn it. Well, fortunately, I'll have infinite children, so I'll be able to spread the glitter out among all of them, and eventually it'll be gone. Oh, sorry.
No,
Clayton,
sorry, you
nope,
can tell the marbled crayfish, known for its notable glitter pattern, which reduces with its offspring, but they always seem to have at least one piece
Yeah.
of glitter on them.
Yep.
That's how you can tell the
One
marbled
differentiating. Yeah, they're all clones, but they fascinatingly have these unique glitter patterns.
from when they rolled around in one man's apartment.
So the thing that saved this from being leaving me totally terrified and sort of fatalistic about the whole thing was an observation, scientific observation made in the article that actually completely makes sense. But it would not have occurred to me as a non-biologist, which is that because every single instance of this entire species is a clone and thus identical, without sexual reproduction, they don't adapt, they don't evolve.
Yeah,
which
their gene
means
pool is literally doing no
identical
diversification.
static.
Yeah.
And so when if a meanwhile sort of viruses, bacteria, any kind of foreign agent, those of course do adapt and evolve. And so if a parasite or disease or something ends up adapting to target the marble crayfish will not, that species will not be able to do anything to combat it because they can't genetically evolve over time. So
Oh.
presumably, eventually,
Yeah, but I mean, life might find a way though.
right. Well, one of the things in the article, scientists was like, I mean, they might only last 100,000 years or so, which in evolutionary terms is not long. That's I mean, in the millions and millions of years that life has existed on Earth, that's not a big deal. But like for us humans, I don't even know if we're gonna make. I mean, we're almost certainly not gonna make it that long. So it's not a huge amount of
Right, but there
effort,
could be like just islands of chitin out in the sea that are
Right.
just, like choked out. Our view of the sun has been choked out by a
Oh.
mountain of crayfish.
Can we somehow use this to like combat rising sea levels of climate change?
How? What?
Well, if we have like mountains of chitin in the ocean, can we turn those into ersatz islands that we can then populate?
Will that further raise the sea level? If we
Well,
dump land,
create mass.
if we
Create
just
mass,
turn biomass and into crawfish or crayfish, who then walk out into the ocean and die, that's literally just as if we're shoveling dirt into the ocean, which then is just going to displace more water.
Yeah, but we could like target it.
Look, if we could create 10 pounds of food
I
on
know.
demand and feed it to marbled crayfish, and then send them out into the ocean to create seawalls,
I mean, it's matter. We could use it for something. I guess we still have to feed them with other matter.
this
I
is
think
like a
you're
Peter
right,
Thiel pitch
matter.
session or something. Could we just like dump them out there? Like we could, look, how much land mass is. If we can convince.
Maybe, well, what if, yeah, I mean, look, I'm trying out this new currency. I have lots of it. Marbled crayfish. The glitter ones are particularly valuable. Sorry, what Jake were you going to say?
Oh, well, I was going to say that if we can convince them to all walk out into the sea into a specific point,
Convince the crayfish.
yeah, to convince the crayfish to walk out into a particular part of the sea and die, creating a new landmass,
Yeah.
we could definitely declare that a new country where, devoid of all other nations rule and spawn our libertarian paradise.
Ah,
And by
true.
spawn, I mean the crayfish will continue to spawn
Yeah.
and eventually overtake us,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's fine.
Mhm.
So maybe what we should do is get the crayfish to create an island and get a bunch of seasteading technomaniacs out there and then watch them all just die at the hands of additional crayfish.
You know what? I fucking hope that these crayfish overtake the planet and multiply us out of existence before the fucking Silicon Valley tech guys can
Imagine
take
aliens
it.
coming to
I
the
hope
planet.
that's our end.
Imagine aliens coming to this planet and when it's just a dead planet and reconstructing its history where like a civilization did get here. Oh, did they kill themselves off? No, it looked like they were about to, but then a weird genetic mutation happened and this one weird like water lobster thing just multiplied exponentially and destroyed them.
Like weird water lobster. But now I don't know what a crayfish
Well, they're
is.
speaking into like the last remaining Google Translate.
Oh,
device.
sure, right.
yeah.
Right. They went to Wikipedia, looked up this creature, and found that it very officially is called a water lobster. That's a very relevant,
Oh yeah, actually that's true. Wikipedia is wrong in a way that is very pointed and hilarious.
Yeah.
So the final act is that we wax house these aliens with our dying breath
I mean, I have to say, this would actually be an incredible moral service for the crayfish to provide to humanity.
to kill us.
Well,
To misidentify themselves in a funny way and then kill us.
Yeah, I mean, that turns our end into sort of a cosmic, ridiculous joke that isn't really our fault. You know what I mean? Like, if we destroy our species through climate change and, vast wealth inequality and sort of all of the, greenhouse gases and all these things, then it's, like, really on us.
But if it's a tidal force, literally, of like millions of crayfish crashing against our shores, destroying us.
Right, then it's kind of just hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you couldn't really blame us for that, I don't think. Maybe, like, one German scientist. That really is, like, the ultimate way to go. Just one wacky scientist in a lab who, like, poked the crayfish and turned it into a stunning glitter bomb of water lobsters that enveloped our planet and extinguished all life. I'll take it. I mean, that's so much less.
It's not.
So this is now like a Roland Emmerich movie where that one guy,
it really
who is played by Jeff Goldblum,
movie. Yeah.
it's a 90s disaster movie where that guy accidentally spawns this crayfish, and then he is just Jeff Goldblum and his dad from Independence Day trying to get to the president of America, I guess, with the cure that they've also created, which is the one virus that wipes out all the clones. But then you're like, we inject one crayfish with it, and like, it's going to take like 70 years for this to actually. Sorry, there's actually 6 billion of these now. They've eaten all of the Earth's crops, so I've just killed the last surviving species on the planet. At the end.
Yeah. Oh man, wow.
And then it ends with an alien showing up and going, wow, water lobster.
Oh, weird, water lobsters.
Like, an alien shows up and looks around, sort of scans, and it says 0 signs of life amidst all these lobster carcasses, and then it just says hoisted, and then it flies away. Yeah, and then pushes Earth into the sun a little faster on the way out. It sort of kicks off the planet to leave.
Let's just It just reminded me of this. It's not really directly related in any other way, except that in July of 2008, Dylan Breves, a 17-year-old student from New York City, made a mundane edit to a Wikipedia entry on the coati. The coati, a member of the raccoon family, is, quote, also known as the Brazilian aardvark, Breves wrote.
Okay.
He did not cite a source and with good reason. He had invented it. He and his brother had spotted several coatis while a trip to the Iguazu Falls in Brazil, where they mistook them for actual aardvarks. A year later, Breves searched online for the phrase Brazilian aardvark. Not only was his edit still on Wikipedia, but his search brought up hundreds of other websites about coatis. References to the Brazilian aardvark have since appeared in The Independent, The Daily Mail, and a book published by the University of Chicago. Breves